fundamentally, art is the product of the inquisitive mind, the creative mind. That could be anything. That could be applied to maths, science, the visual arts, the creative arts, whatever. Art to me is a bigger definition.
It's freedom of expression. Like, you're allowed to be whoever you want to be without being judged.
I feel like there'd be no way we can tell apart different places or people or things.
The arts is a key part of life. I think it's a very essential part of life, the way that we are.
To me, it's just quite a fun thing to do, but I know a lot of people in my class, they see it as a means of expressing themselves.
It makes me feel happy, so it makes me get up in the morning. It helps me do pretty much anything.
Music's changed me as a person because I feel like I can express more. I feel like before I started writing music and playing music, I was a very antisocial person.
All I knew is that I wanted to make something and I wanted to do things creatively. It wasn't until I found out that I could do it as a study that I decided to focus all my efforts in actually making creative arts.
I've always been the loudest person in the room when I was younger, and I loved being centre of attention. I still do now. It's a passion that's always been within me.
I've been told I'm impossible to live with if I'm not creative. Okay, so for me, art is it's an integral part. If I don't get to create, I'm impossible with myself even.
I think the fact that two people can see the exact same thing, like in live drawing recently, that two people can see the exact same person, exact same figure at the near enough exact same angle and come out with totally different, totally different work.
What would the world be without art? I can't imagine what the world would be like, We have this conversation with students sometimes. You ask the question and you ask yourself the question. And you think, right, an obvious one is architecture. It's like, okay, well, we wouldn't need to even look outside because we wouldn't, appreciate anything for its aesthetic, its visual appeal. Theoretically, if we'd grown up over several thousand years as a species, not appreciating the aesthetics or the visuals of the world, we'd live in boxes, eat meals that didn't look beautiful, no one would spend any time creating anything.
Music is important to me because throughout everything that has ever happened in my life, good or bad, I've always listened to music.
I no idea what that world would really look like. Horrible, drab, just abysmal. We'd probably die, We'd probably be dead as a species by now if it wasn't for art.
I think the arts are important in education because I think they're essential for developing the sort of skills that people need out there in the industry, whatever industry they actually go into, because I think the arts develop those kind of collaborative working skills, problem solving, communication, teamwork, and actually I think as a country, as we move from a sort of production-based economy to a knowledge economy, I think those sort of skills are going to be absolutely essential for the future jobs.
It helps so much because it's not only is it just seeing your friends, it's seeing your friends in an environment that you want to be in. So these people are my friends, they're really close people to me, they're my support system. But it's through art and through this course that I've met them, and I'm so thankful for that.
You have to look at education as a whole. Every single aspect is the sum part of the total thing. There's an art to being a mathematician, there's an art to being a philosopher, to being there's an art to debating well. There's an art to everything if you want to look at it that way.
The book that he's referred to by Tandiel, The Importance of Being Awkward, but I suspect...
Art is important to me because I feel like it's the best way I can portray myself, it's the best way I can express my feelings, my emotions, things I enjoy, things I like doing, and I feel like art is just probably one of the most interesting, creative ways you can express yourself to anyone.
In high school, they'd kind of fight for you to go into English, maths and science, and your GCSEs were all important if they were English, maths and science.
Yeah.
But what about drama? What about art? They're just as important because they're things for your soul. They're not just for your brain, it's for you. Whereas, you know, English, math and science, that's for the world. It's not for me.
And consequently, the arts are as important as every other subject that you can think of. The access to them shouldn't be less. There should be no denigration between any of the subjects.
But we know if students have had a really strong arts-based education, then they've got the tools ready to face any of the challenges that come up ahead.
Again, you get to express yourself, you get to be who you want and discover who you truly are.
It's really good for making friends in a way. If you make friends, it makes you feel more comfortable with who you are, and then that makes you be able to go out and do what you want in life.
People should be able to do what they want to do, or what they want to achieve in things, whatever that may be. That's what we're hoping for in a democracy.
Acting and all the arts, whether it's being an artist, photography, filmer, pretty much anything, it is all passion. It's not something that's just stupid because it's messing around. It's not messing around. It is something that is beautiful. I don't know how to explain it any other way.
No, it's quite surprising how different people are actually. I think that's probably the main way it's changed me. You sort of respect how different people are, and that being different isn't always a negative thing.
I was a very antisocial person. I wouldn't speak to anyone. I had my head down all the time. I would never be able to sort of lift my head high and be like, yes, I'm me, this is how I want to be portrayed, and I can be confident in myself, in my body, in my voice, in how I act. It's just, the arts have helped me with that.
I always absolutely loved it at school, and it was the sort of subjects that I felt I could really, really shine and thrive in.
It's a really good way of being able to boost your confidence, as well as making other people feel like you have confidence when you haven't.
We've learned how to perform Shakespeare, we've learned how to do so much amazing things in the few weeks we've been here, and maths and science, they're just as important as the arts.
So I'm really, really positive about the future of creative arts, and I think young people really recognise the importance of creative arts in the creative industries.
Everyone has a passion that drives them, and why do the arts have to be any less than maths and science?
So if you've got the will and the energy, you can do things. You don't need the Arts Council to fund every step that you take. But I'm a firm believer that creative people will always continue to be creative. That's how we ended up where we ended up. That's how we ended up with technology and the sciences. People are asking questions, prizing things apart. It's the creative soul, basically, at the end of the day. You can't squash that. No amount of economics will ever squash the creative soul. It's not possible.